Hello, Mrs. Paukert. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate this opportunity to come interview with you.
It's very exciting to see you. Why don't we just start with the basics? Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I currently am serving as the Eagle Grove guidance counselor at the high school level. I am married and have 3 children. 2 of them are out of the house. One has been married for a year. The other one has her own little apartment and a good job in Ames. So we only have one who's 13. She is very active in all different kinds of things, but the thing that takes up most of our time is dance. So when we have a free moment, our family likes to go camping. We like to be outside. My husband and I love live music, any type of live music that we can possibly go to. Outdoor festivals, concerts, that is the thing the 2 of us love and do most often together. We're kind of trying to get Emerson into it too, but she's not quite there yet. And then if I ever have an opportunity to sit down and read a good book, I love to do that. But however, I just really, for whatever reason, just never seem to find the time.
Okay, excellent. Tell me why you feel you'd be a good candidate for this position.
Well, one of the reasons that I feel like I would be a good candidate for this position is because as I was looking at your website and I was noticing some of your ideals match with my ideals and my values, and that would make us a good team together to work because we're both working from the same foundation and making us compatible together so that we do not have conflicting ideas, conflicting morals, conflicting values. And that's what would make us a great partner together.
That's excellent. I'm glad that you were able to read the website and looked into that. Tell me, as an employee, what are your greatest strengths that you would bring to the job?
One of my greatest strengths that I feel is working with others of diversity. So it doesn't really matter if they have the same background as I personally have, the same educational background, the same religious background, any type of different background, cultural backgrounds. I don't have problems working with people that are diverse, that are completely diverse from myself. And so it makes me a very good team player. And I do not require the leadership role at all times. Like I'm willing to step back and not take on that role if somebody is better equipped for whatever we are working on together. And so I think that makes me strong in that area of team building because I feel that like my mom always said, there is no I in team. So it's very important to me to be able to work with everybody that I come in contact with.
That's excellent. Our organization really focuses on teamwork, and we pride ourselves that we help build strong team and we support each other to working towards our goals.
Mm-hmm.
With that being one of your strengths, what is something that you think you could work on or a skill you can develop?
One of the things that I feel like I could develop is not to take everything personally in terms of if like a project doesn't go well, I personally put that on myself. Like what could I have done differently? What could I have done better? And so sometimes that gets to be a little overwhelming. And I need to learn to step back and realize that it's work and that I just need to leave the work at home, leave work at work when I go home and not necessarily take it home with me. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I need to work on is realizing that even though I'm invested in a project, it is not 100% my project, and I need to be able to give up that feeling of like if something is a failure or doesn't work or needs to be tweaked a little bit, I need to give up that feeling that I like let down the team.
What are some strategies that you have found that help you do that?
That's really hard because it's definitely something that I am working on. But I really have taken the time to, when I get home, my husband and I take that time to decompress about our day, and then we talk about it, and then we table it, and then the rest of the night is for family only, and work is not to be part of that. And then if we do need to bring work home because there's something that I need to work on, we set very good limits on time so that we know that this is my work time, but then I also need to continue to be able to have family time.
It sounds like you've got a working solution. That's nice. Tell me, in our business, we want or expect people to behave in a professional, ethical way.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't always happen. Sometimes an employee will do something that might edge towards the boundaries of what is professional or ethical. Tell me what your response would be if you saw another employee acting in an unprofessional or unethical manner.
Well, that's a really hard situation for anybody to be put into, because being unethical is something that I am not for. I don't agree with. I don't understand why somebody would choose to do that. So that's a really hard position to be in, especially if it's a coworker and you're on the same level. Like, I'm not management and that other person wouldn't be management. I would like to speak to that person privately and talk to them about it. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding the situation. Like, I didn't know all of it and I just got in on the tail end of it. So maybe it's not really what I assume the situation is. If it is, then I would honestly and truly need to go up to our supervisor, our management, our boss, and speak to them and let them know what I've seen, what my concerns are, and then just turn that over to them and let them take a step back and let them deal with it. It is not my job to judge others, but I honestly feel that whatever is best for your organization is what needs to be what's the way to put it? Like, that definitely needs to be my main concern, not somebody else's feelings, but like what's best for our organization overall.
That's very well thought out. Yes, you put that excellently. Tell me, you told me one of your strengths is working with a diverse group of people. Talk to me a little bit about working with others and how you make sure that all voices are heard and all stakeholders are participating.
Okay. So I like to, if I'm in that leadership position of the team leadership position, I definitely like to take the time to give everybody a chunk of the job. And so to divide up all of the work, to divide up everything that is happening within the project. So everybody has part in the project. And then when we come back together, we can discuss it and see if, yes, this is something that will definitely work. This is something that will not work. So it's kind of just making sure, like a classroom teacher, you have the person that's a recorder, you have the person that's the team leader, you have the person that's the timer. So everybody gets a job. So everybody is participating and using their strengths to make the project the best of its ability, the best that it can possibly be.
I like that, giving everybody a responsibility. That's really nice. Now I want to talk a little bit about flexibility for time. Sometimes we have to work late or we have to come in early. We have to make accommodations depending on our workload. How flexible are you with that?
Honestly, like, I don't have a problem if my hours need to change. I would request that I have a little bit of time and not short notice, just because I do have a 13-year-old at home that can't drive herself yet. So I need to make sure that I have rides lined up for her. Cause like I said earlier, my daughter is involved in dance. And so I need to make sure she can get from point A to point B and where she needs to be. But honestly, like, I've never really been a firm believer that if my job is 8 to 5, I'm only working 8 to 5. I realize that there are things that come up and I might need to be there at 6:30. I might need to stay until, 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. And my family understands that. I'm very much aware of that. But like I said, my biggest thing would be just a little bit of a heads up so I can make sure that my family life and my family responsibilities are taken care of.
That's reasonable. So this is about at the end of our interview. Do you have any other information that you think we need to know before we make our hiring decision?
I would just like to say that I personally believe that I have a really good attitude and I have a lot of spunk, and I like to bring that into everything that I do. Like I'm kind of like the glitter that never like disappears, you know, it's always sparkles things up. And I really feel that my attitude and personality would fit very well within your organization.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do have one question. I was just curious as to what the time frame would be for hiring.
Well, we're going to finish our interviews by Friday, and we expect to let people know by midweek next week.
Okay.
Well, that concludes our interviews. If you have no other questions, I will be getting back with you next week. It was really nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. We don't know how to quit recording.
Bloopers are my favorite part of our interviews. This part.